Hey there everybody, this is Piper here, and welcome to another Total War battle. So this is actually a battle replay from a 3 vs 3 tournament, and the next 3 videos after this are actually part of the same tournament. And it was a tournament hosted by Rus League, which is a Russian organisation, and they also have a clan called USSR. So this is the semi-finals from this competition. And it's between a team that was called the Chomos, or I think that's what they were called, the Chomos, and that consisted of Moussolini, or SoA Moussolini, SoA Palid, both very good players of Rome Total War, won many competitions, and a player called Captain Liapos. That's actually a player called Post Saint. So what I'll do is we'll go through the armies fast before the battle starts, because it is actually 3 vs 3 and there's quite a lot to go over with the different factions. So obviously Mussolini's gone with Pontus. He's got a bog standard army here. Looks like 6 chariots, 4 side chariots, 2 chariot archers and Pontic light cavalry, 1 peasant, 6 archers, and the pike are gold. It's 5 pike gold. SoA Palid, he's actually gone for an unusual army. He's gone with 4 cavalry, gold, Praetorian cavalry, 6 archers, 2 auxiliary archers, they are 1 upgrade. And he's actually gone with the urban cohorts, which are gold for them. So quickly move over to Saint Fast. He's actually got his horse archers on the left flank. They are actually gold. Quite often players only make horse archers gold, but when you don't have any light cavalry, handy to make these guys gold. So 5 cataphract, they are going to be gold. Actually the only 5 upgrade on the cataphract. 2 pike gold, and the rest of them are archers and 1 peltist. So what actually happened there was Saint had extra deny left at the end, and these guys have better stats than peasants, and they last a bit longer as well, and they can actually be useful in the Skirmish Battle. So right here we have Saint skirmishing with Rome's auxiliary cavalry, and we'll go through the enemy army fast. So obviously we have Egypt here, played by Kaban, which is a player called USSR Kaban. He's got Egypt, it's a standard army, 6 chariots are gold attack, 4 pike, the pike are Pharaoh guards, they are actually 5 upgrade, 5 regular bowmen, 2 Pharaoh bowmen. And he's put his chariots in the left flank, and basically the chariot archers are skirmishing with Pontus. You see there's a couple of units of auxiliary cavalry for the Romans, and the player USSR Cat, he's actually gone for the urban army for Rome. So he's got very powerful urbans, archers. He's got 1 Praetorian cavalry, there we go, gold, and the rest of them are auxiliary cavalry. So he's actually got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm assuming he's got 6 auxiliary cavalry. So we got, last but not least, we've got USSR-Fedor at Carthage, and he's actually gone for the pike army. That's 6 Sacred Band, gold, slingers, he's got a peasant right flank, and 4 units of Rential cavalry. So it's quite an unusual army for 3 vs 3. Oh, the actual team, I would have expected Rome to bring cavalry and not urbans, because it means that they only have Egypt with the chariots. They don't really have any heavy cavalry, so they'll be slightly disadvantaged with the cavalry, but they will have the extra units of urbans and pike at the end. So Carthage actually has 4 units of gold round shield. So Satan is skirmishing on the left flank with his horse archers. Now these guys are gold, which means they're going to be pretty powerful. It means he's going to have the ability to rout the archers with these guys, they're going to be powerful enough to actually take away some of the missile troops. These guys are just gold, and they're a little bit tired, they become a little bit weak, but the extra defense upgrades will actually put these guys in good stead versus the melee assaults on the archers. So not too much is happening. Egypt is still skirmishing with Pontus. So Egypt has 2 units of, they'll be gold. That's just gold attack chariot archers. These guys are skirmishing with Egypt, or the Pontic chariot archers. Now these 2 units have the same stats. The only difference between Egyptian chariots and Pontic chariots are the fact that Egyptian chariots are actually faster. Everything else is the same, so this will be a bit of a stalemate in this engagement. Kaban's moved over a unit of Egyptian chariots, and he's moved these guys forward to try and get some kills on Mussolini's chariot archers. Because these guys are fairly fast, and it looks like Kaban's going to actually get in there, and Kaban will do some damage on the chariot archers. So I think he actually got 1 unit there, and Mussolini is going to charge forward a unit of Slav chariots. So this is where Mussolini has the advantage. For the price, the Slav chariots are better in melee. So that's a good engagement for Mussolini, but he's actually getting flamed by Egypt. Kaban's moved forward his Pharaoh men, which have extra range. They're actually shooting arrows at the Slav chariots. Now these guys are actually a bit susceptible to flaming arrows. And what happens in Rome Total Wars, if these guys get flamed, or they get too tired, or they maybe have low morale, they get freaked out, they can actually run amok, which means that the player loses the ability to use these units. And you see like a red flashing icon, and those guys are out the game. But it also means that you cannot use that unit, but also it can damage your own troops as well. Which is better that that happens far away from your army, because it does a lot of damage to your own cavalry if these guys get mixed in with your light cavalry or your cataphract. So Saint is microing on the left side. So it appears that Rome only brought 4 units of light cavalry and the 1 Praetorian cavalry. Can't remember if he has stuff hidden here. I doubt it, because it's a tournament. There's usually set guidelines for how many troops you can hide. And Cat's going to try and charge the horse archers. If Satan has pretty fast micro, he's going to actually withdraw his horse archers. A unit of Carthaginian peasants, they're really there to soak up the arrows from the horse archers. The thing about that is, horse archers' gold attack are a bit susceptible to peasants. See, there's a charge from Cat right there. So what actually happened there is Stain put these guys out of skirmish mode, withdrew them, in case Rome actually chased him to the red line. But Cat stopped, and I think Saint microed over here, and Cat actually had a good timing charge there. I caught a couple of horses. That unit's down to 16, that one's down to 21. And I'd imagine Saint will pull these guys back, and Cat will probably chase these guys to the red line. But Saint will be aware of that now, and he'll actually move these guys around probably. So left hand side, so the USSR team are getting pretty close to the red line. The danger here is if Mussolini actually charges over here, these guys will get caught and they'll rout straight off the field. So that's a little bit dangerous for the USSR side. We've got the 4 units of Ventral cavalry, and they're really there to back up Egypt. We've got the arch war starting between Egypt and Pontus. Carthage has moved over 3 units of 20 infantry. So Carthage has gone for basically pike overload almost. He's got 6 units of Sacred Band spearmen and 3 units of 20 infantry. So these guys were actually hidden at the start that I didn't see them. He's going to move over these guys, and these units are going to support the chariots. Because if these infantry get too close to the chariots, the chariots will just die en masse against the pike. And you can see there, Egypt is flaming the Slav chariots again. So again, not too much is happening in the centre. Looks like Palid's going to start the arch war with Carthage, and Saint's going to move over his archers to fight Rome. But it appears that Saint's done a lot of damage to Rome. And you look at what Saint has archer-wise. So we have a charge here from the Poet Infantry versus the Bronze Shield Pike. And there's a unit of side chariots actually running amok. But because they actually haven't routed, they're running amok, they're still doing damage to Rome. That's quite fortunate for Moussolini. That unit's doing a lot of damage. And the Bronze Shield Pike are so much better than the Poet Infantry. Plus the chariots and the cavalry. Mussolini's going to do a lot of damage in this area of the battlefield. Palid has started the archer war, doing a lot of damage to the slingers. It looks like the slingers are out of range of the archers. So getting a lot of good shots in there. And Palid's going to move over his urbans and his cavalry. So this is really good plays to the SoA side, or the Chomos. I think Palid using the urbans and the cavalry really well. Normally, Roman armies either have cavalry or infantry. So what's actually happened is Palid sacrificed light cavalry for a balanced army of heavy cavalry and urbans. And it looks like the USSR team are a little bit bunched up here. They haven't won the archer war. There's a unit of Egyptian chariots over here. I don't know if they've actually lost the archer chariots. There's a unit of archer chariots there. I think the other one might be off the field. So that they're both right there, and they're fairly tired. But Mussolini's going to charge around his pike. Left hand side we have the urbans in the centre. And Saint does have the two units of heavy spearmen go gold. Got a unit of side chariots there going in for charge versus the auxiliary cavalry. Got the unit of Egyptian chariots at the back right there, and that's good plays by Mussolini. So like I was saying at the start, if side chariots run amok, which these chariots probably will run amok quite soon, they'll still do damage even though the players lost control. So that's really good plays by Mussolini. These guys are going to run amok, and they're going to go into the chariots, with the Egyptian chariots, do a lot of devastation. So the Chomos are actually surrounding here. These guys have actually switched to flaming arrows now. I think they're going to go for a mass rout. Got that chariot there, charging straight through those secret band. And we've got a unit of Cataphract on the left hand side. And they've actually routed that unit of Pharaoh Guards, so they've actually got the outflank. Palid's using his Praetorian Cavalry. And this could be a big rout on the USSR side. They're getting attacked from all sides. The urbans have gone in for Palid, and Mussolini's doing the flank attack with his bronze shields. So 1 versus 1, the Sacred Band are much better than the bronze shields, but that flank attack will be absolutely devastating on Carthage. Saint's bringing around his cavalry, and just look at how many archers are left on the Chomos. Saint did a really good job versus Rome. He's got a lot of his archers left, and Palid has a ton of Roman archers, and that's going to be it looks like a mass rout on the USSR side. The outflank with Mussolini using the pike, the chariots, and Palid going in this side with his Praetorian Cavalry. That's going to be a clear victory for the Chomos, or the SoA side with Saint. This is actually the first time I've watched this battle replay. I think really well played to the SoA side. Really used their forces well. The outflank that Mussolini did with the pike, thought it was really effective. And just look at how many archers are left for Palid. He's almost got all of his archers left. So what I think should have happened was, I think USSR, they should have brought more heavy cavalry. I think it's always good in team battles to bring infantry, like strong infantry for Macedon, good pike for Carthage. But when you've only got infantry, like it was only Egypt that had cavalry, the rest of the guys had light cavalry. I don't really feel that USSR side used their light cavalry well. They should have really used their light cavalry better on the flanks. I think Carthage should have probably brought some Numidian mercenaries, or the Javcav, just to try and hamper the archers a bit better. But anyway, that was really well played to both sides. So that was actually a heroic victory there. I wasn't sure when the battle ended, but just looking at how many archers are left, it's not really too surprising that was heroic. Really well played to Moussolini and Palid. I thought they teamed up very well. I think Moussolini played using his pikes on the right hand side to nullify the Sacred Band, and Palid going for it's kind of a risky army, going for cavalry and infantry and no light cavalry. It's kind of a risky strategy, but it did pay off well. They used their cavalry really well, and I think Saint played very well on the left hand side. He actually won the Archer War pretty well and used his light cavalry well too. I think making his horse archers go gold gave him more options to use the light cavalry. So in a nutshell, the SoA side, they went for heavy cavalry, good infantry, and very few light cavalry, if any light cavalry. I think they had the horse archers, that was pretty much it, and the Pontic light cavalry, which is effective going for a mass route. It's not too effective if you have to defend your archers, but it worked out well for the SoA side. USSR side, I thought they played really well. I think they could have brought slightly better armies. I think Cat should have probably gone for the Cab army. Fedor brought the right army for Carthage, but he probably should have brought more light cavalry. And Kaban probably brought the optimal army for Egypt. The 4 pike, 8 archers, and chariots. But anyway, this is the first battle in a series of 4 replays from the 3 vs 3 GR tournament that was hosted by Rust League. So that was the first battle. Stay tuned for the next 3 battles. Again, thanks for watching. This is Piper signing off.